All right. I'll put my glasses on so I can actually see tonight. Um, we're going to go through and answer some questions and stuff tonight and talk about the project that we got going on right now and another project that we're getting ready to start tomorrow, which should be a lot of fun. I'll give it here just a little bit for a few people to get signed on before I talk about too much of that. So if you want to jump in and say, make sure the connection's good and everything. Hopefully it's coming through good. We are
I'm not getting you at all.
had a long day today. Let's see if this is. Oh, we posted that little quick live clip today of the test drive, but there is another like 45-minute video that's ready to go when I'm done here. How's it coming through? Can you see and hear okay? Okay. If you have any problems, I'll let me know. Tyler and Kelly will both be on tonight. They can help moderate a little bit, so we'll make sure everybody behaves. Obviously, my info is not correct right now because it tells me there's only 3 people in the live chat, but yet I see a whole bunch of people saying
on my
hello.
end, I'm seeing 34 watching now.
Okay, yeah, it tells me there's 4 people now. Oh, did you guys watch that live one today with me driving, or not me driving, but going for a ride in the bus today? With Phil going 70 miles an hour on the interstate today. Oh man, wait till you watch the video that's going to be posted tonight. I don't want to give away too much information about it, but we actually didn't have a really good day today. When we finally made it to the interstate, that was our 3rd attempt to make the bus to the interstate. It was a rough day, starting from the very first second that I started work this morning. Same old problems and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on because my thing right now says there's 6 people in here, but you're showing more than that.
Mine says 69.
Oh, I like that. That's a good number.
Good number.
Phil actually dropped the F-bomb on the video that's going to be uploaded. It's already uploaded. I just haven't made it live yet. It was a crazy day. So one thing I mentioned briefly the other day that we might be doing like a bus rescue or something. So in the morning, we will be Kelly and I will be pulling out of here and heading up to, oh, I didn't even tell Kelly the name of the town, and now I can't think of it.
All I know is it's about 2 hours away.
It ends in TH, and there's a bunch of E's in it. There's 3 E's, and it ends in TH. Elith or something. You go up 39. And maybe it's not 39. I don't know. 35. 35, and that changes to 39 maybe or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember. No, it's not Ellsworth. That doesn't have 3 E's in it. Let me see your phone, Kelly. I'll tell you the name of the town, because if there's anybody in the area that wants to come up there and help, that would be great, because it's going to be cold. I don't even know if there's snow on the ground up there. I hope not. There's a Silverside. I think it's pre-war. Maybe it's not pre-war. It's a Silversides bus, so like a bus like mine, allegedly running when parked bus, and we're going to go up there and try to get it running and drive it out of there. And we have basically 2 days to do it. So tomorrow and then the next day. So Stan is coming. Stan, the owner of Bus Boys and this, the bus shop that we're at and all that.
Is it Evelith?
That's it, Evelith. 3 E's and ends in TH, right?
Yeah.
I'd never heard of that name before. So that's where that bus is up there. It's very near the airport in that town. And yeah, if anybody, just tell me there's 1 person in this chat, so that's why it makes me concerned that
128.
Okay, yeah. So as long as it's coming through good on your end, we're good. So, anyways, yeah, we're gonna go up there and get this bus going. So we got spare parts and everything, hopefully, that we would need. I'm going up with Kelly first thing in the morning, and then everybody else is gonna meet us there later in the day. John is coming. He used to be like the director of the Hibbing Museum, I think, or something like that. And he's also a mechanic. He's doing some wrenching over at C&J Bus Repair. He was a driver for Stan for a while too, or may still be. And then Phil reluctantly is coming. He didn't want to come, but I said we need somebody skinny to be able to crawl under the bus. The bus is sunk into the ground, so I've seen pictures of it, and it's pretty much so the front end, like you might be able to get some fingers under it, and if the ground is frozen, it's going to be hard to. Yeah, no, tomorrow's going to be nice in Eveleth. It's going to be 28 degrees is the high, and then it's going to warm up to a balmy 30 on Saturday, which is the nicest day of the entire week even possible for them. It is going to be like 12 and 8 degrees the next day and stuff. So I really want to get it fixed within 2 days. It's going to be cold. So we'll have our bus will be there. So we'll have our generator. We have propane heat in the bus for us. So we'll be fine sleeping out there boondocking overnight. Everybody else is going to go to a hotel.
Just so you know, it's 7 there right now.
It's 7 right now in Evelyn. That's awesome. Is there snow on the ground? Anybody live in that area? I would love to know if there is snow on the ground. Because if I got to dig a damn bus out of a snowbank, oh my God, that's going to suck so bad. Oh man. At least I'm smiling about it, right?
It's because you're not there yet.
It's because I'm not there yet. Oh yeah, Tyler is saying that if you have a question tonight, post all your questions in all caps. So if it's a question, do it in all caps. That'll really stick out for Kelly to be able to catch it and read it to me. And that way, if you're replying to somebody else or you guys are chatting amongst each other or something, she doesn't have to pay attention to those posts. She can just skip them and look for the questions. That'll make it go faster and easier for her to find the questions instead of scanning through a whole bunch of stuff. So if you see somebody ask a question that's not in caps, maybe just, hey, could you post that in caps throughout this so I don't have to say it 100 times.
But you don't have to post what you've already asked. I'll get to it.
Okay, so she said don't repost it if you had already done it, but yeah, that would be great. So again, I don't want to ruin too much about the video that you're going to see in a little bit. I'm going to make live. It's about 45 minutes long. It's a lot of driving. It's more troubleshooting than I would have ever wished for. There's some issues with that, and it all. I mean, it started from the very first startup this morning when I started that thing. I was like, oh God, not again. And you'll see it in the video. So why are you laughing over there, Kelly?
I'm reading some of the comments and it's cracking me up. Are you ready for questions?
Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll start taking some questions.
Okay. I don't know how much you want to answer since you didn't want to give away too much, but in the end, what was the cause of the fuel problems? Do you want to go into that at all, or?
In the end, I still don't know. Well, I know what the cause. Well, part of the fuel problem is getting air in the fuel system. Do I know what's causing that? No, I have no idea. We have replaced every damn line on that bus. The only thing that has not been replaced is a solid copper line that runs from the engine compartment all the way to the tank, and then it's the pickup tube. There is very little air bubbles. There are air bubbles coming through there, but very little air bubbles getting from the fuel tank to that. A tiny, tiny amount, which we shouldn't have any there. But that is not the overall problem that we're having. That's a problem, but not the biggest problem. We're the next step. Well, we're going to replace the fuel pump on it next. But other than that, every line's been replaced. Every filter's been replaced twice. Gaskets. The fuel filters have not been replaced, but they're not producing the fuel in the secondary filter because they're post-secondary filter. So there's no way, even though the fuel injectors technically could take combustion or compression gases pressure from the cylinder, it could come back up through the injector, but that would only go the other. I mean, everything's flowing the other way, so it's not going to swim upstream. So I don't. But the injectors are bad. That they definitely are. They're coming in and out. They're missing. They're not missing. We take them out and we'll have 3 nozzles spraying on them, and we just don't have any of these extra non-offset old school HV 55 injectors here. But Phil got something came in late tonight that we were going to try to swap it out to, but I think we're just gonna. We short the injectors. You'll see it in the video. I guess I don't want to ruin the video for you because it's going to be. I think it's a really good video.
Okay, and someone wanted to know how the test drive went.
Fast, loud, bumpy, scary at moments, breakdown, like I said, it took us 3 times before we even got an attempt to get on the highway. We had to come back to the shop 3 times because we're like, we don't like that, something else is wrong. It just got frustrating.
Okay, someone has a question for me. Want to know if I'm learning anything about diesel mechanics, and have you learned to love the sound of a good running two-stroke Detroit yet? Love the sound, unless it doesn't have a muffler.
That's true.
And I definitely know when it doesn't sound right.
She does. She knows when it doesn't sound right and when it's smoking and maybe why it's smoking or what kind of smoke. She's pretty good at that kind of stuff.
Doesn't mean I can fix it myself, but I'll help. Okay. If you have something else to talk about.
Oh, I don't really. But if you didn't hear me, we're heading up to Eveleth. That just sounds weird to say, too. That's got to be somebody's name or something.
Tyler's asking where we're going in North Carolina. That is Benson.
That's where we're going to be at?
Benson.
Benson, North Carolina? Yes. Yeah, that'll be in a few weeks, though, right?
Yeah. Because we'll have to go.
Yeah, we're flipping our schedule. We were going to go out to California before Christmas, but just because everything is been the last few jobs were a lot longer than they were supposed to be, which this one was supposed to be 2 weeks. That was no big deal. But we still got to get back to Sage. We got to get back to Lance. We got my daughter's birthday coming up. And it's just going to be too much tight time frame to get back out to California and back before Christmas. So it sounds, I got some other jobs that I can do in North Carolina where it doesn't get super, super cold there. And a few other things I can do with Tyler too. This will be kind of fun. And then be home for Christmas, and then right after Christmas leave on our trip heading towards. So I think we're going to go to Louisiana, Texas, Arizona.
We're hitting, I think Arkansas and Alabama will be hit before.
Or New Mexico's first, and then Arizona, and then Nevada.
We don't have anything in Nevada right now. Unless you haven't filled me in on something.
I don't. I didn't know if we had any of the guys in Vegas to hit or not. And then Southern California. And I'm not making it to Northern California at all. I've had a bunch of people ask, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So anyways, that'll be after Christmas. Questions?
Do you have to leave the engine running all night?
No. I don't leave the engine when it's like 20 degrees outside or 10 degrees at night. No, we have propane heat here. The furnace can run all night. We got plenty of battery power. If I need to, I can run the generator. The generator can do a block warmer in the morning. As long as I run a block warmer for a couple hours before I start the engine, it'll be perfectly fine. And we're taking like a torpedo heater with us too, so we can have some heat while we're outside, kind of blowing our way.
Where is a good start to looking for a bus?
A couple Facebook groups that I always recommend: Bus Conversions USA, Bus Conversions. There's another one called like USA and Canada or something, and another one called Craig's Bus Sales, which is all people post a bunch of links to Craigslist listings all over the country for buses for sale. Those are some good places to look.
So are you about done and ready to move on?
Definitely ready to move on. But no, we're not about done. But I think we're done for this trip for the most part, other than this bus rescue that we're getting ready to leave on. If you just joined us tomorrow morning, Kelly and I are leaving for Eveleth, Minnesota. We're going to try and rescue a Silversides with Stan and a couple of other guys, Phil and John Beckstrom, and get up there and try to get that bus going tomorrow and Saturday. We've got 2 days to get it going and try to get back.
And then you have a bus to work on back here.
Oh, and then I have a bus to work on back here, which would be...
you said you'd give them 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days working on Taylor's bus. Another Silversides, pre-war Silversides.
Okay, and Tyler says cracked filter housing, question mark?
I don't think so. I don't see any cracks in it.
How did you get the fuel cleaned off of you after the blow up?
I took a shower, and then today Kelly threw out those clothes. We had put them in a plastic bag. I thought, well, we'll wash them, and no, we just threw them out.
They were brand new too.
Brand new.
Just took the tags off them.
Just took the tags off that morning.
Will you upgrade to N65s?
Not on that. No. And it's kind of hard for us to go to a non-offset injector in there. It's not impossible, but we have to change the rack, and that particular rack has the shutdown for the engine is on the end of the rack on the opposite end. And there's like a roll pin in there, which we would have to take out, put a new one on, change the whole end of the rack. and then change all the fingers because the fingers are all different shape. They have like a little foot on them for the non-offsets versus the offsets. So it'd be kind of a big, not impossible to do, but it'd be, you know, and it's a low block, so we're not really getting any benefit, specific benefit to go with larger injectors on that. It's just not, we're not gonna have the power for that.
Is that spring suspension? The video seems really bumpy.
Yes, that is spring suspension, but that video is so damn bumpy because those old ass nylon bias tires that are on there, you know, they sit for a long time and then get used and then sit for a long time. So, you know, they're like octagon shaped or something. So the wheels just bounce you all over the place. They are extremely old tires. I looked at one of them, and the date code is pre-2000, so I don't know the exact year that they are, but obviously they're more than 20 years old. You know, the tube tires and everything. And like when we first went out in it today, like we took the tire pressures, we drove it around the block one time, literally one block. So normally around the block here is like what we did in the bus the other day, where it's a few blocks, but we did one block this morning just to test things out, and it went horribly wrong. You know, and we checked the tire pressures. Like one of the front tires was at 30 psi, which they looked like they were full, but they weren't. And the other one was at 60, and it really didn't help the ride any, though, when it had more air in the tires. Yeah, the first trip, just not a big spoiler alert for the video, but the brakes were sticking, like they wouldn't release. So if you stepped on it and it kept the air pressure in there, and then the throttle pedal, every time you mashed it to the floor, it stayed to the floor. It was just. It was a really fun one block trip. I was on my knees pulling the pedals back up for him, and it wasn't fun.
Looks like you got a super chat.
Oh, I do. I have a super chat. I'm sorry, I missed that. How do it's from Mitchell Jacobs. Thank you for your channel. Love your patience and your knowledge. I have a lot of patience, and people always comment on that. I just even today, I think most people would have, like, if this somebody would have put, like, you know what those truck nuts are, like with the giant testicles that people hang on the back of their trucks. I was considering buying one of those sets and hanging it on the back of the bus just so I could kick it in the nuts today. That would have made me feel so good.
I could see you doing that. You'd hurt your toe.
It would have hurt my toe because I would have kicked it hard.
Okay, next question. Has there ever been a later turbo 671 with a supercharger blower like the 6V92, or people just add them?
Oh, no, they're turbo all the time, 671s, yeah. A lot of these older buses don't have that, but yeah, I don't know when they really started doing that, but almost everything in the, you know, the semi-trucks and all that stuff were turboed on 671s for a long time. Boats definitely are.
Any New England trips in your future?
I don't know when we're going to make it to New England. It'll maybe. If I get enough customers that want me to come out that way.
Right now we only have one or two.
Yeah, I just have one or two on my list, and
they're not willing to pay the travel for all of it.
Yeah, the travel, the $1 a mile. This thing still tells me there's 4 people online right now.
No, 426 mine says.
Hey.
It
says I have five thumbs up too.
Mine only shows 4. So.
Oh God.
Did you check the tank pickup tube in the tank?
No, I checked the filler neck. Obviously, there's something giving a little bit of air, but that is not what the big air is coming from. I mean, when we hooked that clear thing in between there, a couple little air bubbles here and there coming through from the tank. But when we put it on the return side, there's a ton of air bubbles in there, and we need to go move it back to the other side, and then just try to see if I can figure out where it's coming from.
Someone's asking, acupuncture for your back?
No, my back's doing pretty good. My hands have still been really numb, but not at all like it was. I mean, I've been through this before with my back. It's a nerve issue, and
it's more your neck.
Yeah, it's from my neck, and it hurts between my shoulder blades, and then it goes down to my arms. My hands are numb all the time. The one day the doctor rolled this thing up my arm that's like got little prickly needle things on it. Like he would hit my leg out and be like, "Oh, that hurts like crazy," and he'd run up my arm, and I could barely even feel it. So that's just nerve damage, and nobody wants to hear about this. I just saw another super chat from Nomadic Tech. It's raining Bus Grease Monkey videos today. Yes, it is. Thank you for that super chat too. Yeah, I think this is, well, because there's another one that's ready to be posted after this that I think you'll enjoy. A lot of driving in it, and it has the image stabilization is enabled in the video, so it's much smoother than it was for the live broadcast. I know I don't understand why when I do Facebook Live that the image stabilizer doesn't work on the camera, but maybe it just has something to do with the frame rate or something like that. Another super chat from 404 Air. Totally enjoy and look forward to your videos every day, learning about my 4106. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Okay, someone's asking where in California? Southern California. Where,
Southern California, yeah. Los Angeles, Santa Barbara.
The one says San Diego area.
San Diego area, yeah.
But I don't have an exact place yet. Just the area. And then you said you don't want to go north, but we did have someone wanting San Francisco Bay Area and then Sacramento, but I don't know that we'll make it up there for this trip.
The thing, we've had our buses out in San Francisco area before, and oh my gosh, I hate that area, driving and all that, and we'll see. Since I don't have a deadline to get home, like if we're doing it before Christmas, when we had the deadline to get there, to get back before Christmas, that was a little bit harder. So maybe I can extend it some more.
And I guess it's going to depend on all the wildfires and everything. If
it does depend on the wildfires.
I'm not driving through that, or I'm not having you drive through that.
Yeah, and I know that one of the clients that we're going to work for is a firefighter out there too, so who knows if he's even going to be home or, you know, if he's working crazy shifts. Just saw another super chat from Donstor one. Thank you. Keep coming. Hey man, you're welcome. I'm having fun. This has been a good trip. Other than the, I mean, the bus was super frustrating, this particular one, but.
Okay. Someone's asking, do you have any videos on your first bus?
Yeah. If you search Benny on my channel, you'll probably find it. I think you can search individual channel by name for videos, but there's a Benny the Bus tour. And then there's a bunch of videos of me working on that bus, doing different things, changing luggage bay doors and wheel hubs and all kinds of stuff like that. So, but there's a tour of the bus. The inside of it was really cool.
3751 or 4151 Silver Sides?
I don't know. I didn't ask what it was. I'm going to assume 3751, but that's just purely a guess. He probably told me and I wasn't paying attention. I just heard Silver Sides and I saw some pictures of it, but.
And then someone saying auto or manual.
For the 3751?
It's a different person, so I don't know if that's what they're referring to.
Yeah, they only came in manual. There's only like 2 of them that I know of that have been converted to an automatic in the country, but.
Someone's saying, weird question, where do you wash your clothes? Laundromat, or do you have a way to in your bus?
We visit a laundromat every once in a while, if we need to.
Typically, no.
Yeah, typically I just have a lot of clothes on the bus. Work shirts and pants.
We just
we pack a lot. I mean, we got dressers and
under the bed is full.
Yeah, Rubbermaid bins full of clothes. I can go 2 months or more.
Except for long sleeve shirts.
Wearing the same pair of underwear every day. No. Clean pair. Sometimes twice a day. Got bad days.
Not long sleeve shirts though. You're screwed there.
Yeah, long sleeve. I don't have a lot of long sleeve. I had to buy more on this trip because you remember we try to stay south, so I try not to ever have to wear a long sleeve shirt.
Okay, someone's asking, and I don't know if Tyler has answered it in the comments. Might Tyler be interested in a 4107 in Oregon? Manual trans has Russ, good price. So I don't know, Tyler, if you haven't answered that, you might want to jump in. How is the Jack project for Lenny coming? I don't know if it's supposed to mean Jake.
Oh.
Yeah, Jake, autocorrect.
Yeah, no.
Hopefully they'll be there when we get home.
Yeah, hopefully they're there when we get home. He said he on that last live chat that we did before we left Indy, he said that he was shipping them out, so hopefully they're there.
Okay, someone's asking if we're going to be in North Alabama, and I'm pulling up my list right now.
I know we do have a stop in Alabama.
And I'm not sure if it says on my list where at in Alabama. We have one in Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile.
So no, but depending on what kind of route we're taking, we may be driving through that area.
Yeah, and this bus used to service through Alabama, so I think we had like 3 different towns on Alabama on our destination sign. We have Dothan, which I've been to since we've had the bus, and Birmingham and Montgomery are the 3 Alabama towns that this bus used to go to when it was in service with Greyhound.
Someone's asking, low block have smaller displacement?
It has smaller ports, so there's less air coming in and out through there. It's just not as efficient as, you know, once they, the opening in the air box is 60% of what it is on the later models. So
You might want to mention again about if they have questions.
yeah, if you have questions, she's asking that you just type them all in all caps, so that way they really stand out easy for her when she's scrolling through to read them. And then if you're just chatting amongst each other, then the regular stuff is great.
Hello, best regards from Germany. I have a question. We have a 1965 GMC TDH 5304 automatic. How do I correctly measure the oil level at the transmission?
It's a manual transmission or an automatic?
Automatic.
I believe that one you check while it's running in neutral. I don't recall. I think it's like the V730 that you check idling in neutral. You run it at 1500 RPM, or no, 1000 RPM for 1 minute, and then you let off to back to idle, and then immediately check it. There's a cold and a warm temperature, I believe, but I'd have to refer to my book on that. I can't remember for sure if the old automatics like that too, but I think it is.
Did you have any other super chats pop up?
Oh,
I just want to make sure.
I may have had another. Yeah, I just had one just now from Jack Craybaum. I'm 29 years old, and CBD, no THP capsules have given me complete relief from lower back pain. Yeah, I got some, a friend of mine sent me a bunch of CBD oil and some creams and stuff like that too that I've been trying. Since it's a nerve damage, I'm not really sure how that's going to help me out, but I don't really have pain. It's just this numbness that's going on, so I've been real lucky. I haven't had any pain.
I want you to look back just a little bit farther, just in case you missed another one.
Did I miss a super chat?
Because there was a yellow one that was popped up too, but it may have been just an older one.
If I did, I apologize.
I don't want it right there.
That was the Donster one.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I didn't want anyone to get left
He
out.
said thanks, keep them coming. Yeah.
If there's anything else you need to talk about, I'm looking.
Just again, if you're just joining in, I'm going to be heading up tomorrow with a few guys to try and rescue another bus, a Silver Sides for Stan. It was running when it was parked and hasn't run for years. It's sunk down into the ground really, really far. The ground's going to be frozen. It's going to be super cold. 28 degrees on Friday and 30 degrees high on Saturday. But those are by far the warmest days that it's going to be all week there. So if anybody's in the Evelyn, Minnesota...
Someone said...
I feel like I have a lisp when I'm saying...
Someone already said it's Evelyn with a lisp.
Oh.
That's what I was laughing at earlier.
That's what it is. I'll agree with that.
And I apologize if I've missed anybody's questions. I'm trying to see, because not everybody puts a question mark after it either. Let me see. After you convert these buses into motorhomes, does it change classification A to C under 26,000 pounds?
I don't know if every state is exactly the same, but definitely when you change it to a motorhome, it becomes exempt from nearly everything. So you don't have to go to weigh stations, you don't have to have a CDL, you can, in most states, you can just have a regular driver's license, all that kind of stuff. So, but you have to check with your state. Some states are different. I don't know how it works. Some states still go by weight. Some states may still require you to have an air brake endorsement, but most states do not require even an air brake endorsement for a motorhome. A bunch of retired people have politicians in their pocket, and they get laws written so that the companies that sell RVs, they want to sell these great big RVs that have air brakes and everything to people that have money, and they pass, they find loopholes to laws and say we want to, if you had to have a CDL and you had to have an air brake endorsement, they wouldn't sell as many motorhomes, so it'd be bad for the economy. So the politicians pass it and say that nobody needs any of that. I might have just got too political there, but that's how it's bull crap, but it's exempt from everything. So.
You said bull crap.
Sorry.
Someone's asking cracked fitting.
Could be. Anything is possible. We have not changed fittings. I've had all the hoses off, and I sure didn't notice anything. It's really frustrating. I can't tell you how frustrating it is. And all you guys that thought for sure it was all cracked hoses and all that.
It's not.
Yeah, thanks for wasting 4 hours of my time.
The hoses were bad.
They needed to be changed. I'm just teasing.
Is there any chance that there is an internal crack in that head? Ever Magnaflux one?
God, please no crack in the head. Man, we went through a lot to get that head, so I'm gonna say no.
You guys looked at it pretty close.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have noticed anything like that. But they normally don't crack in that kind of an area. That's not a high heat, high pressure area. That would be 99.9% that no, it's not an issue with the head.
Could it be the shaft seal in the fuel pump?
Yep, could be. That's our next thing, replacing the fuel pump. That's on the list. There's one on the bench right now for it.
Do you change your plans when you see a big winter storm coming? Not usually, because we're usually in warm
usually
weather.
Nowhere near it. But I mean, if like last year when we headed down to Florida, we came out to the bus the morning we were heading to Florida, and the bus was covered in snow.
It was covered
and it was
in
ice.
and
It was ice. Yeah, you're right. It was an ice storm that night. So yeah, I always I don't want to drive in snow. So I will definitely change because I will not drive in a snowstorm. My windshield wipers are sketchy at best. Defrost is sketchy. No, I'm not going to be driving in snow.
And I don't want to be outside.
And I don't want all the salt and stuff getting all over the bus too.
I don't want our pipes freezing, so that's my concern. Someone said they got their Hey Lance shirt. Hope you like it.
Oh yeah.
Air bubbles on the return is definitely bad injectors.
Yeah, but we're losing prime on the secondary filter, which is before the injectors. So that's why I don't think if that filter keeps getting emptied, it's something else. It's I don't know. I'm at wit's end with it. That's why I'm actually excited that we're leaving tomorrow to go work on a different bus for a few days.
Was there a reason Phil did not send the donated head to a machine shop to be reconditioned and checked?
What was the first part of that?
Was there a reason Phil did not send the donated head to a machine shop to be reconditioned and checked?
I mean, everything's on. I mean, we're on a budget, so it came off of a working engine. We tested the valves in it. It's not the head. The head's not the issue.
We can go ahead and talk about something else. I'm looking for the next. There's a lot of comments.
I noticed Scott's language improves the more frustrated he gets. Yeah, that's probably true. I don't usually say bad words in anger, though. They're more in.
No, they just slip out on the regular.
Yeah. Phil dropped the F-bomb in the video you're going to get to see tonight. I left it in there because I just thought it was hilarious.
Can we get a pic of outside of the bus you're currently doing? So they're talking about the one you've been working on.
Well, you'll get some really good video of it from outside today. It's outside in the sunlight driving and stuff. So yeah, you'll see it in the video that's coming tonight.
Did you ever go to the Old Green Tortoise in Oakland, California? They had some old looks.
No. Was that the name of a bus company? I've heard somebody mention that before.
I've never
I
before.
don't know what it was. That sounds like it was a bus company. Oh, Tyler says I can't afford a swear jar. That is for damn sure.
Neither can you, Tyler.
That's what he said.
Oh, I thought he was talking about you.
No. No.
I can't either. I don't think anyone in our family can. Was the outlet on the cylinder head have its restricted fittings installed before the fuel goes back to the tank?
Yes, and clearly you're not watching the videos because I did a close-up view of the restrictor fitting. Said, yes, it's on there. There it is right there.
Take a chill pill.
Chill pill, sorry. I need one.
You got your panties in a bundle.
My panties are in a bundle.
So after all the work, what was the root cause of fueling issue?
Watch the video tonight and you'll find out there's still no answer at the end. Spoiler alert.
Scott, why don't you put self-adjuster slacks when you do brake overhauls? I love the channel, bro.
You know what? It's a really good thing to crawl under your bus and keep an eye on stuff. With the self-adjusting slack adjusters, people get really lazy with that, and I really like to climb under there and check everything out and and just make sure everything's good. William Oswald just did a super chat on there. $10 for Tyler's swear jar.
Awesome.
Oh.
Do your dogs ever travel?
It's not even
with
making
you?
a dent, but thank you, Willie, for Tyler.
Okay. Do your dogs ever travel with you?
They have, yeah. I probably even have some videos with Willow on the bus on some of the repairs that I did, but not very often. They're our daughter's dogs, and but she wouldn't mind if we took one or two. But the bus is just so small, and
there's no place really to walk them around here.
yeah, a lot of times I end up like in a gravel parking lot or something like that, and
I don't want to do that to them. They can
muddy
run,
dog coming in and out of the
run
bus all the
They
time.
can run and play at home, and
Yeah, we have a big house, big yard. They're big damn dogs. 3 Saint Bernards, if you didn't know.
if I were to send you bulk coolant hoses, what size would you need? What sizes?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think what I have right now that I, like 2.5 is a good size that I don't have. I think 2 3/8 might be something that's in there. 1 5/8 might be what my heater core stuff is. There's so many different sizes. That's what's crazy. So I think right now I have 1 inch, 3/4 inch, and 2 inch that I carry with me in stock, and a few other miscellaneous sizes. But like 2.5, I don't think I have. I don't know that I need 3 inch, but there's a few buses that have 3 inch. It's just hard to say. I just saw another super chat here. Flex Honcho. Promoting someone else's idea, a new t-shirt with the diesel spray on the wall with your outline as well. It occurred to me when that happened that I looked around, I'm like, oh, there's not an outline of me, thank goodness. I actually, one time, we had a bonfire at our house.
Oh, God.
This is, and it wasn't igniting. We couldn't get it to light, so I put gasoline on it, which is, I never recommend that to anybody, as you know.
And your wife kept telling you to stop?
She kept saying, stop, stop, stop. But I was really smart, and I lit a stick on fire, and I threw the stick onto the fire. And absolutely nothing happened. And the stick was just sitting there. So I waited about a minute, and then I'm like, okay. So I walk over, and the very second that I touched that stick to pick it up,
as I'm telling you, no.
it just went, this huge fireball. All the hair was gone on my arms and my eyebrows, and the next day in the grass, all of the grass was dead around the fire pit, except for you could see where my legs were and my feet, and then like the shadow from me. That's what I expected to see on that wall when we had that slight fuel issue.
No, it blasted around you.
It was everywhere. I could not believe how much force that fuel came out with.
It was insane. Are there any more buses for sale?
Any more buses for sale? Oh, like here buses for sale?
I don't know. I'm reading exactly.
Stan's probably always got something that he'll sell. He's probably always got something he'll buy too. I know, yeah, that one he just got rid of. I think that took him down to 99, but he forgot that he bought like one the day before or something, so he's back to 100 or whatever.
Do you ever read the chat history after the live stream ends? You do.
I've skimmed through it. I've not read it. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. I've not read every last comment. Sorry, I have not.
I try to, and I point out stuff to you. Are you going to take tarps and a kerosene heater?
We're going to take a torpedo heater, yeah, kerosene torpedo heater, and we can run it off of the electric part of it with the blower that goes from our generator from the bus, and then have some heat blowing, hopefully, on us outside. But I've got a couple tarps. I've got that big 20-foot tarp below, which we can maybe wrap around too. We'll see how cold it is. 30 is probably not horrible. But if it's like windy and snow on the ground, then we're going to be cold and wet, and oh, that's just going to be a bad. I hope there's no snow on there. Has anybody commented yet if there's snow on the ground up there?
I have not. I've just seen people comment that it's cold.
Fingers crossed, no snow on the ground.
What is the first bus you ever owned or worked on?
Technically, the first bus that I owned was like a 50s Ford school bus, schooling. I'll post a picture of it later on the community tab.
You couldn't really drive it.
Never got to drive it. It got towed with a tow truck, and the
Make it quick. You have 2 super chats up there.
oh, I can't remember what happened, but something. Oh, it blew out a wheel, and then we only had like 5 miles to go, so the tow truck driver kept going. But from the wheel being blown out, sparks were flying down the road. It was at nighttime. I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get arrested for this. Parts were started. Big parts of the bus started falling off.
We kept pulling over
and dragging big pieces of parts off of the road.
So there's 2. Find the yellow one first.
I think I already did the yellow. The yellow one was already acknowledged.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They just stay up there longer.
Okay.
But there was a new super chat from Ice Hunter. How many specialty tools do you use or need to work on Detroit engines? There's a lot, and a lot more that I don't have. I really want to get that stuff, some of that stuff that Joe had. The cylinder liner, or not the liner. Well, I need to get a liner puller. Mine's a homemade one. I'd like to get the real one that we used the other day. And I need to get a 92 series ring compressor, the real Detroit one, the cone type. I don't know what you call it, but I've got the 71 series, but I don't have the 92 for that. And I want to get for setting and reaming the injector tubes. I would love to get that, because now that I know how to do that, and all of these buses that I get to, like these ones that I pulled here, I was like, I couldn't believe the difference in the height of the injector tips coming out of the head. Now that I know to look for that, I was really surprised by that.
You should probably go back to finish then what you were saying about that first bus. We
Oh,
didn't
that's
buy
cool.
it.
Yeah, we bought it. It was
buy
a photo prop, and we took really cool high school senior pictures with it. It was a really old, crappy school bus. I parked it in the woods at one of my friends' properties, and that was my first bus, though. And then that led us to getting the hippie bus, which was going to be the other photo prop that we had for that. A couple of super chats just popped up in here. Charles Killian, truly good stuff. Hey, thank you, Charles. That's a great super chat there. Feel free to ask some questions too. And then there's another super chat from KD Pierce. I was hoping for an outline. Oh, on the wall? Yeah. I know it was pretty hilarious, I thought, too, in the video, to see me drenched in diesel fuel. You don't know what the smell is, because that's old diesel fuel. So it's got a very special smell to it. And then, I mean, it was in my mouth. I was gagging. It was just disgusting. And then I was laughing. And then when the camera pans to the wall and you guys see, I so wish that she would have had it on video, because it was hysterical the way it came flying out of there and didn't stop. It was a good 2 to 3 seconds of this really loud and just shooting projectiles, shooting it all the way to that wall. And
while you stood in front of it.
Yeah, I tried to stop it, but once it got into my face, I couldn't. I'm like, I just got to back out of the way.
Have you ever been DOT with Lenny?
I mean, I've gone through all of that stuff myself on there, but no, I've never had anybody officially do it. But absolutely, I've gone through. My bus is definitely safe and roadworthy. There's no issues with my bus. And yeah, I have an Amazon wish list where I keep putting tools and things like that on there for my family members and stuff like that too. But I should probably do that, a list of tools that I need, especially some retired guys have some of the stuff that they're never going to use again if they want to donate it or something. We would actually be able to use it. They might appreciate that.
I assume that was one of the questions that you just saw?
Sorry, I saw that on here. Yeah, that was from Katie.
Okay. What kind of and where did you get the fuel line for this week's bus?
There's a hose shop here locally that sells that. Those are the Aeroquip. Aeroquip is like really common on the old stuff. They're all reusable fittings, but it's a lot of times it's hard to find the Aeroquip hose. So there's other brands or other versions of that have the same fittings, but they're a little bit different dimension, the hose that they sell. So you can't put the other brands on the Aeroquip actual fittings themselves. So you got to find somebody that has that. most of the time, for convenience sake, I just go to a hydraulic shop and have new ones made. The problem with that is, though, the hydraulic fittings, when they do the compression on them and everything, they're usually a little bit longer before it gets flexible, and there's a lot of places where a hose has to be able to bend before that longer part is. So if it's 1 inch longer, a lot of times it won't work in the situation that you need it, and it's a pain in the butt.
Okay. Your bus. How does the weight equivalent to when your bus was in service on passengers versus furniture?
Furniture is very light in here. I mean, everything furniture-wise that's in the bus, even water and all that, is probably still less weight than the bus was with all the seats in it. Those seats are heavy. If you've ever taken them out of a bus, you would know that, and there's so many of them. There's a lot of metal and stuff like that, and our furniture isn't all metal. So the conversion itself is lighter than the bus, or about the same as what the bus would have been with seats in it. But my heavy part is the tools. I really have many thousands of pounds of tools on the bus.
Is there a way to pressure test fuel portion of head?
I think that's going to be another thing that we're going to do. If we can, I have a plug I can throw at the end and add pressure to it, and see what's happening. I mean, it's crazy.
Did they ever make a 1271, 2 6s put end to end?
Not inline 1271. I don't think I've ever seen that. They had a lot of 671s hooked together. Well, they actually had, I've seen 4 671s hooked together. So it was 2, one this way, one this, so 2 on the left and 2 on the right. I've seen images of stuff like that for power plants for different things. So, but they weren't directly, there was something else going on. They weren't like all on one crankshaft kind of thing. I think there was like something in between them. But there's some pictures of stuff like that for like landing crafts and different military configurations. There was a whole lot of crazy 671 stuff going on.
Is it the valve that you use the bug sprayer to prime?
No, that would leak. That's on the positive pressure side. If that thing was bad, it would actually leak fuel. It couldn't get air.
Do you check liner protrusion, bearing clearances, etc. with these end frames?
Yes.
Can you block sections of fuel line and use air to check for leaks?
Just to be clear on one other thing too. So yeah, obviously there's a 12V71. He's asking if there was 2 inline 671s together to make an inline 1271, and I'm not familiar with that. But obviously, yes, there's 12V71. Sorry, what was your question?
Okay. Can you block sections of fuel line and use air to check for leaks?
Well, I would. Yeah, I mean, I could. I could put an air nozzle on it.
Do you like the Minnesota weather?
Haven't really seen much of it. We've been inside in the shop. So today was the first, and we've been out to eat a couple times at night, and it's been really chilly when we've been doing that, and stepping on ice outside the other night, and snow on the ground and all that.
Not much difference than if we were at home, though.
Yeah, it hasn't been crazy. It's been in the teens, I think, here, low teens and 20s and 30s.
Yeah. So what is the next project?
2 more things. Well, if you're just joining or you haven't been here since the beginning, we're leaving on a trip to Eveleth, Minnesota, to try and rescue a Silversides bus like mine that's been sitting for years, ran when parked, and a group of us are going to go up there this weekend. Kelly and I leave tomorrow, and the rest of them will be up there later in the day. Try and get that thing running, and drove out of there. We're going to drive it up to the Greyhound Museum in Hibbings, Minnesota. That's where it's going to live for the winter, if we can get it there. But it's sunk down into the ground. It's going to be a real bear, and cold weather, and hopefully no snow on the ground.
What about a cracked pickup tube in the fuel tank?
Very well, maybe, but that's not the cause of the problem. That's very little air coming on that side of it. It's something between the fitting on the clear tube that we have now and the fuel pump. It really has to be where it's at.
Are there any of the old...
Well, when I say between the fuel pump, between the of the fuel pump, because it could be the fuel pump itself.
Are there any of the 40 to 42 old looks that were electromotive propulsion left? Am I reading that right?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about that. I would assume that I know I've seen some street cars that had bodies that look like old look buses, so that's probably what that is. But I've only seen pictures and stuff like that. But I'm sure some of that stuff is around if there was such a thing.
Someone's asking, was the lady that walked by in the video the Invisible Kelly or someone else? I'm not sure what video they're talking about. But if you got me on a video, you're gonna get smacked in the back of the head.
No, that was not Kelly. I told you when you walked through, I said you walked through my video.
And you were supposed to delete that.
You didn't say that. It was right at the very end of a clip. It was just, you didn't, they just saw a, thanks person, but it was just a blur. Right.
I obviously haven't watched that video yet.
It wasn't
Scott's
Kelly.
in trouble now.
It wasn't Kelly. That was somebody else. She's not going to read any more questions now.
No, I'm looking for the next question, but Scott's in trouble now. Did you check pickup tube and tank? I had a similar problem with the tube and had a broken solder joint. So kind of like what you just answered, I guess.
Yeah, I've had bad pickup tubes before too. Actually, one of my buses, Benny, at one point kept running out of fuel with like 60 gallons in the tank, and we finally added I pulled it all out of there and added a rubber hose over the copper line, the pickup tube, and then put a hose clamp at the top of it, and then threw it down in the tank. But still made sure that it didn't touch the bottom of the tank, and that solved that problem. But that was very frustrating too.
Tyler says, please take Clyde with when he's not with us.
Clyde's the puppy. He's
Clyde's brain isn't fully developed
his
yet.
brain is not fully developed
doesn't
yet,
know.
but his body is. He is a monster.
He's not done growing yet.
He is the tallest Saint Bernard we'd ever owned. He's crazy.
Okay, just a minute. This just flipped you sideways on me. Oh, here we go. I think you're all caught up here, so, which is good because I only wanted to be on about an hour. Someone said, I hope the dog house is warm.
Yeah.
Or maybe I didn't catch up. Maybe it threw me to the bottom again when it.
Oh, it might have. I would assume it did.
Go look.
I bet it did that.
It did.
Sorry.
So keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will go back and find. Okay. Someone says, Scott, when you covered yourself with fuel oil while pressuring the tank, could the issue be a blocked tank vent causing suction in the fuel line?
No, tank vent is obviously working because the whole time I was pressurizing the tank and I was adding very little pressure, I could hear the air coming out of that vent the whole time, and the whistle was going off. There's a whistle in the tank. When you're filling it with fuel, when it gets 10 gallons to the top, then it blocks off that vent, and then it forces the air through what's called the whistle, so you know you're like 10 gallons away from being full. So when you're filling it, you don't spray fuel all over the place. I guess they didn't used to have fuel pumps that would automatically cut off back then. That's my guess. But yeah, no, the vent works.
Okay. Bruce is asking, when I stopped by last Monday morning, you looked at your phone for a torque spec. Was that a website or something you had saved?
No, I took pictures of the book pages of all the torque specs just to keep them, because I don't trust my memory. I'm usually 10 to 15 pounds off what I think I remember what something is. So I always look that stuff up. I saw in here somebody said, please don't be mad at Scott.
Oh, I'm going to give him a hard time. I'm not mad. But I am going to give him hell. Because that's my job. Love you, baby.
I love you too.
Does your silver size have power steering?
God, no. I wish it did. We're going to add it. It's on the list.
Can a cup or two of fairly hot water in the radiator of a cold diesel make it easier to start in 40 to 50 degree weather?
A cup or two of water? No, it would take gallons and gallons of water for a long time. I have a block warmer, electric block warmer, so you plug it in and it keeps it after a couple hours, it'll fire up like it's, the engine temperature is close to 100 degrees. My gauge doesn't start giving me an accurate reading up on the dashboard until like 104 degrees. After that, it's accurate. But usually when I have the block warmer in, within like a minute, I'm already over 100 degrees. So it just pops right off. Otherwise, I got the ether I can use, but I try not to do that.
How do you manage hauling all your tools around?
My bays and my bus are filled with tools. We had the room inside for a cabinet, and I kept hinting at Kelly that it'd be a great spot to have a really cool toolbox in here. That would look really nice in the bus.
No.
She does not think
I get the inside.
She gets the inside, I get the underside. That sounds bad. Sorry.
That's going to be your doghouse.
That's going to be my doghouse. There are plenty of buses with bedrooms in the bay.
Can a tall DD471 valve cover be lengthened to fit a 671 head?
Well, anything is possible, but just buy a 671 valve cover, a tall one for the Jake brakes. Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it. You can get them for $100-$150 probably. So,
tell us about the fuel line you used today.
It's called AeroQuip. That used to be like the standard thing, just those reusable fittings where you can make your own hydraulic lines and everything. I don't know what kind of pressure they go up to, but they're on power steering and all kinds of stuff, so it must be pretty high. They work real well. It's reverse thread on the outside, and then it just goes together, and it's great. William Oswald just did a super chat. Want to put a cell phone booster at my lake house. How do you like yours? I love it. I actually have a link on the install video of that. So if you click that, that'll take you to a special page. And I think actually if you buy one, I actually get like a commission or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I believe I do. If you click my link for that. And I do love it. I've got two of them on here. The one is the Drive Reach, and the other one's the RV Drive X, I think it is, and they both work great. The Drive Reach is more portable, where you could take it in your car too and have it at the house. But if you want to do a permanent install with like an antenna up on the roof, they probably have other ones for that too. But the one that we have permanently mounted on the RV is what we're using tonight, and it's coming through great. I think
that one works better.
Yeah.
Than the other one does.
Well, because the antenna's up higher than I could ever get the antenna for the Drive Reach. I could never get to the very top of my roof, reaching up with my hand and a magnet. Bigger. And the magnetic one, I would have to take it down every time.
What is the worst bus failure you have ever witnessed?
Worst bus failure? Geez, I don't know. I mean, destroyed crankshaft. It overheated and spun bearing, one of the engines here that I worked on last year, or went to work on. I think it was 5 out of the 7 main bearings were spun in the block. That was bad.
What is the worst bus you've ever owned or worked on, problem and damage wise? Probably the same thing you just said.
I probably can't answer that question. I plead the fifth.
We haven't owned a terrible bus except for the one that was falling apart.
Oh, one of ours? I thought they were acting
or worked on.
I thought they just meant like one of my what client's bus was the biggest piece of shit that you worked on? So I thought he was asking. And
it says that you've ever owned or worked on.
Yeah,
I've got a couple in my mind.
Yeah.
Did you upgrade your fuel rack to the single screw spring-loaded type?
No. I have one at home. I just haven't got around to doing it yet. I just saw another super chat here from Ice Hunter. How much horsepower and torque do you think Lenny will make with the turbo? I don't know. It depends on what injectors I go with and all that. I would assume I'll get like a 50 horsepower boost with that, somewhere around there. I'm not doing anything insane. I mean, the engine is capable of getting, 400 horsepower out of a 671, but we won't be doing that.
Okay, just a second here. It just threw me off here again.
Somebody misbehaving. I just saw Tyler gave somebody a timeout. That's a.
He's deleted several messages, so behave yourself, people.
Yeah, you need to behave, man. Because if Tyler tells me, or if I go back and I don't know if I can see the stuff that
We
was.
can. We can.
We can see it. Yeah, if you're being a real jerk, I'll just block you from the channel.
It's better that he's seen it because I'm not biting my tongue anymore.
Okay.
This is probably similar to what you've already answered before. Did you determine what caused the drain back problem?
No.
And so did you ever figure out why a check valve was needed?
No, I don't know why the check. Well, the check valve was like a temporary help it not be so bad issue. There always is supposed to be one, but whenever the real reason I put that check valve in there is because every time I open up the system, it would drain all the way back to the tank, and then I had to reprime all the way from the tank to the filter housing, and then go from there. That is even harder. That was just put a check valve in there, and then now I only lose prime from the up front, and that extra 30 feet of I'm not having to reprime. That's why that's on there.
I am showing 2 super chats at the top. Did you answer both of those?
Yes.
I think you did, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Have you ever done a job in North Dakota?
Have we?
I think we did.
Oh, Fargo, North Dakota. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we replaced a couple cylinder liner kits in the parking lot of the Detroit diesel dealership for Paul. 8 hours, man. We had that engine apart and back together in 8 hours with 2 new cylinder kits in it. Me and Tyler and Paul. He drove that thing back to Canada. $0. It was all used parts, and we didn't charge him for anything either. That was fun. That's what got me started. Watch the How Did I Become the Best Grease Monkey video, because I'm pretty sure that's in there.
Okay, and this question you kind of answered. How do you like the new WeBoost, and would you recommend one? You were just talking about it.
Absolutely would recommend the WeBoost. They're pricey. I mean, $500-ish. I don't. Some of the other ones might be a little bit less money. The first one that we bought was $500. $4.99. The Patreons helped us do that. They didn't help us. They did that. But it helps, and it's wonderful to have that. And we travel in the country. We never know where we're going to be. We have sketchy internet, and that thing gives us great internet. And then this couple lives that we were able to do from the barn, that's another thing I want to take advantage of. That the portable one, the drive reach, where I can set that up and plug it in and run it from a shop, and then we can do some live stuff because a lot of times when I'm in buildings, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right here now. I'd have to be outside freezing my butt off to be able to do it.
I know you like vintage coaches, but would you ever touch an MCI 102 with an 8V92 Detroit?
If it's a mechanical engine, yeah, I would. If it has a electronic DDEC in it, I don't mess with those. And all the other systems, though, I would help you with. I just wouldn't. If it's the electronic engine, electronic trans, I don't know any of that computer stuff, and I don't have. You think I'm a patient person, but I don't have patience for the computer issues. I just saw somebody ask if I've ever done a job in Alaska. I've never been to Alaska. I don't think I've ever been to Alaska. No.
It better be warmer if you go.
That would be summertime.
Just wondering if using smoke, i.e. beekeeper smoke machine, might help find the air leak point.
No, because it's on the suction side. I don't think we would notice that. I mean, maybe it could, but there's other ways. We just thought we were crossing off everything that it could have been. It turns out there's more could have beens than is.
A lot of people are telling me that you're saying that you're in the doghouse. You're in deep shit now. No, he's not. Someone wants to know why I'm so camera shy. You can tell it.
Because a couple people were really mean and nasty, and then some people were kind of perverts.
Creepy.
Creepy perverts, and she didn't enjoy that. And it was okay if I say that stuff to her, but she doesn't want other people saying that stuff to her.
Yeah, it's all stuff that's okay coming from you, but not anybody else.
Okay.
Have you replaced the fuel pump with a known good one?
It's on the shelf, ready to go on. But no, that's pretty much the last thing. Other than that, it's actually changing fittings And then if fittings don't go there, then filter housing or something. You'll see the video of what we did today, and it's just crazy that it's still. And I never touched on the fuel system on that bus. We took the blower off. He already had the fuel pump disconnected from the blower and off to the side. Those are the only 2 lines on there that actually got moved and changed. So anything else you would have thought would have been a pre-existing condition. We didn't even touch any other lines on the suction side. So afterwards, the 2 lines that go to the head, obviously those 2 lines came out, but those would have leaked fuel, not added air. So really nothing should have changed on anything. So we shouldn't be having this issue, but we do. I mean, it's a 60, almost 70. It is 70, 68, whatever, 52, whatever that is. Old bus. And those fuel lines might be original that were on there.
This is throwing me all over the place again. I just lost my question for you.
Somebody just said, I find this channel to be a good, inspiring view of how a great couple can work together. We've always worked together, too.
Yes. Wouldn't want it any other way.
That's right.
Someone wants to know, how many women do you have in the bus or garage?
There's Kelly right there.
That's old. Anyway, in all there, with You're in Trouble, somebody asked, how many women do you have in the bus or garage? Because you said it wasn't me, it was some other one.
Oh. It was a rental. You were in Phil's video too, at Phil's house. You with the dog. You were in that.
I wasn't too happy about that either.
You didn't even mention it to me. These things.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
And you said, it was only for a second.
Oh, that's what I said probably. Sounds like me. We've been on for an hour, so we should probably give like a 10-minute warning. Is that okay?
Yep.
So it's 10-minute countdown.
So let's get through these questions.
And yeah, you might not even type any more questions because I don't know that. Do you think you have 10 minutes of questions there?
I don't know. I don't want to go ahead. Coming back to Fort Myers. Yes.
Yeah, we'll be back in Fort Myers Beach.
Not sure when though.
Yeah, my guess is going to be like February, March. Would be my guess.
Could there be a vacuum being caused in the tank from the clogged vent?
It's not a clogged vent, and no.
How about a visual tube before the pump?
We have one. It's on. People don't watch our videos.
But you just put that on though.
It was on yesterday's video,
Okay.
and yeah, maybe even the day before. I don't remember
Chill.
now. How many? Yeah, I'm sorry.
It wouldn't have been the day before for sure. No, if someone says you're going to be on the couch or not, if anyone's going to sleep on the couch, it's me. It's my new couch. I like it.
We do love the new couch in the bus. It's pretty awesome up here. Got to change a couple of things with the TV and a few other things up here, but yeah, the new couch is nice. Other than the fact that we need to get like if you've noticed some videos of me sitting on this really nasty looking brown sheet on it, it doesn't match anything. That's because I'm not allowed to sit on the couch in my work clothes. Even though it's black, which is a good thing it's on there because I've already made that very dirty. But yeah, we got to get something that kind of matches so it doesn't look like a homeless person's living on the couch.
Otherwise, he has to sleep on or sit on the floor.
Yeah, sit on the floor.
Does Scott only have black shirts? No, but mostly.
A lot of them don't start out black. I try to buy dark colors because they look horrible. You know, I wear a lot of cotton shirts and stuff, and that's not good for cleaning out engine oil stains. There are, you know, polyester and other fabrics, but I don't like the way that they feel to wear them. So I prefer cotton or like maybe some cotton blend type stuff. And once they get oil on them, you can't ever get the stains out. I don't care what detergent or stuff you use. So.
Do you like Harbor Freight tools? I
do. And I really love my Icon wrenches that I got from there. I think those things are awesome. Probably the best wrench that I've ever owned. I really, really like them. I wish I had a better way to store them than the case, the kind of tray that they came in, because it takes up a lot of space. So I probably need to get like a wrench roll, like one of those fabric things. That would be ideal for me. That I could just roll them out and kind of old school style. But yeah, I like them. They don't skip sizes. They fit real nice. They feel real good. The length on them is long. I'm talking about wrenches. I'll just shut up, but I'm not even gonna say I like them. I like the way they feel. I can't even say anymore. This is bad.
Does your bus get cold at night?
Yes, but not here. Not tomorrow night. My bus is going to be cold.
Thought you were scheduled to get out of Minnesota before the snow comes. Yeah, we thought so too.
This doesn't really count what we had now. Has anybody even answered that yet? If there's if they know if there's snow on the ground up there by Evelith? I hope not. And has anybody chimed in that they can come up there and help us?
I haven't seen that, but I haven't been able to.
Volunteers would be greatly appreciated if you're in the area. We're going to have a lot to do to get that bus ready to go.
Do you hang on to old...
Plus, you'll get to go to the Greyhound Museum in Hibbing and see that stuff. If you've never been there, it's very cool.
Can I ask the question now?
Yes, sorry.
Do you hang on to old injectors that are no good anymore?
I've never thrown an injector out because the parts are always good that are on them. They can be rebuilt and everything too. So I've never thrown an injector away. Most of the time when you buy a new one, you send it in, the cord goes back. So
when are you coming over to Australia to see Dangar Marine? I would like to go right now.
This would be the time of year to go there.
I wish we could.
Yeah, I wish we could. Maybe we'll be able to make it down there at some point, but it's not in the cards right now.
I'm not seeing another question here, but let me keep going. Is it hard to shut down a backwards running Detroit?
Well, I mean, if you shut off the fuel or you shut off the air, so no, it wouldn't be hard. I mean, most of the time, if you got it running backwards, you just accidentally did something like, I don't know what you would do. Have it in gear and have the bus roll backwards and the clutch come out, that kind of thing. Or if you parked it in first gear and somebody backed into it, that would start it and maybe roll it away. That's why you never leave them in gear when you park them, because if somebody bumps them, they'll start and go. That being said, mine's probably in gear.
What is the cause of the billowing white smoke in a fuel-starved stall situation?
I have no idea what you're referring to.
Well, after that it says like you had in the garage on video.
That's not really white smoke. It's more of a bluish. It's a combination. Yeah. I know there's no snow in the forecast. I saw that. White is usually coolant or something, but this isn't that. So black smoke is usually fuel when it's a lot of fuel, but when it's just a slight mist, then it comes out that blue color like that. Burning oil and stuff like that too is kind of like that. We've just got a plethora of, and at some points today that bus was not smoking at all, and then it would smoke, and then it wouldn't smoke, and then it would smoke horribly bad. We ran compression tests again today. You'll see compression's good on those cylinders. I really think it's injectors, bad fuel, other stuff like that. Could be broken oil control rings, but I loaded those liners. I know I did not break any rings, and if I did, they are very, very fragile, and I could see a possibility that one could break. But when we short cylinders out, the smoke doesn't go away at all. Today we were shorting out 2 cylinders at a time, trying to see if it was 2 things that were causing smoke. Which I learned myself, I cannot short 2 cylinders at a time by myself, holding 2 screwdrivers on 2 injectors at the same time. I don't have those motor skills and hand-eye coordination and to do that. I don't know if I answered that question or not, but we probably have like 3 minutes left.
If a person is wanting to buy a bus, what is the average going price for a good one?
A running driving bus that's already got a conversion kind of thing, is that what they're asking? $15,000 to $20,000 is usually a pretty good price. If it's an automatic, then you're probably on the high end, 20 to 30. If it's just barely running and driving, then you're looking like $5,000. If it's not really been on the road in many years, kind of thing, then $2,500 is kind of it just you got to figure your 15 grand into a bus no matter what price you pay for it. If you buy a $5,000 bus, you're very easily going to be 15 grand by the time you get sorry, I was reading comments too. But you're going to be 15 grand into any bus no matter what. So if you buy one that's already on the road driving now, you're 15 grand. If you buy a $5,000 bus, you're 15 grand into it by the time you get it on the road too. So
do injectors leak from cylinder to fuel?
they can, yes, but it wouldn't go backwards. It wouldn't go into the primary or secondary filter. There's just no way.
Okay, do you want me to keep going and see if we still have more, or?
Yeah, we'll take a couple more, but it's probably time to start saying your goodbyes.
Some of these I don't know what they're even saying. How much a year do you are? So I don't know what they mean by that.
I don't know.
Someone's wanting Tyler to do a live chat soon. Get on that, Tyler.
Yeah. If you don't subscribe to Tyler's channel, Indiana Diesel, I highly recommend that you do it. He not only works on buses, and he'll be working on a bunch of buses with me coming up. And when we work together, I try not to shoot the same thing that he's doing, so you kind of get another side of the story when he's there. And he works on a lot of other stuff too. So, and he's got more energy than me, and he does different stuff. He does complain a little bit more than me, though. I think I've noticed that.
Live webcam shows the ground clear by Elevith. Thank you, Tom.
Oh, look at that. Yes, thank you. Elevith just sounds like a word that is not supposed to be a word.
Mm-hmm.
But it should make some fun video, getting this bus going. Hopefully Kelly will help me shoot the video. She'll need to be outside, so you have to dress warm.
What you talking about? I don't
Well,
have any warm clothes
unless you
left.
walk by a mirror, you won't be on camera.
I gotta get me some warmer clothes.
Yeah, let's get Tyler some more subscribers. That's what he needs.
Someone to know if Phil made you nervous.
When he's driving, did you watch the live one today? I saw that SUV. I'm like, yeah, I think we'll probably make that turn. We'll probably make that. This bus is longer than he thinks it is, maybe. It was close. And that car did not slow down a bit. He's like, whatever. No, he does not scare me, though. He's a good driver. He drives the shit out of that bus.
Someone made a comment to somebody else that they need to go up to Franklin and help next time you're at Lance's. So.
We'll be at Lance's in a couple weeks. Or less. Less.
It's probably going to be about 2 weeks by time.
Okay, 2 weeks.
By time you go up for a couple days here, and then come back for a couple days, and go home for Bailey's birthday.
Yeah.
And then go to Ohio, and then Lance's. So it'll probably be about 2 weeks.
I will be working on the bus at home because we're going to be installing that 360 3D camera system that I posted before.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be there. Bailey hasn't said that it's arrived.
From REI. REI does a lot of bus electronics and stuff like that, and that system looks really neat, so I can't wait to do an install video of that. I'll definitely get Tyler's help on that. He is the electrical magician. Dibs on inside. He's a little shit.
He called dibs.
He did. He did. He called it first.
Doesn't mean we have to have it heated inside.
Yeah. No, we will, because I'm going to need to come in and warm up.
I was going to say, that would be mean if we did that. Do I need to upgrade my injectors when I add turbo to my 8B71?
Do I need to add what?
Do I need to upgrade my injectors when I add a turbo
Yes.
to my 8B71?
Well, you should, because then you'll get more power out of it. Yeah, it can handle, you'll have more air so you can burn more fuel. So you want an injector that gives you more fuel. I did want to thank Barry. If you remember Barry that volunteered for us out here last week. He's also a goldsmith, and we sent my wedding ring into his jewelry shop. What's the name of it? Do you remember? The jewelry shop?
Whoa. Starts with a W.
Wait.
Wixon, I think.
Wixon, yeah.
I don't want to say wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And anyways, he fixed my wedding ring because it was really jacked up. I melted part of it one time when I arced it out on a battery, and then it turns out one of the diamonds in it was actually broken, and he took all the diamonds out of it and cleaned it and polished it and redid the gold and the channel and put a new diamond in it. And
it looks better than new.
It looks better than new. He did a great job.
Yes. Thank you, Barry.
Thank you, Barry.
I'll bring mine next time.
It wasn't free. We did pay for it, but did a great job. Surprised you didn't lose it. Yeah, when I did that, like I was pulling a battery tray out of the bus, and my wedding ring was on top of the battery terminal, and the positive battery terminal is a negative ground vehicle. And when I pulled the battery tray out, the top of the ring hit the body of the bus, so it arced through there, and sparks went flying. Gold was missing from the top and the bottom of the ring. There was black char marks coming out of each direction from the wedding ring. And then when I immediately took the wedding ring off, there was a burn mark and a blister that was completely it was about as big as what this silicone band is right now on my finger. It was a blister. And when I came home to show Kelly, I'm like, look at this blister. It looks like a wedding ring still. And then I bent my finger, and when I did that, the blister exploded.
You're disgusting.
It was disgusting.
Where in Ohio will you be?
We'll be in Belpre, Ohio, and then somewhere else too. Tyler, if we're going to work on that 4104 for Mark, that'll be like a couple weeks later or whatever.
I don't know.
It's also Southern Ohio, I think. There's a really, really nice 4104 that Mark has bought also that we're going to go work on.
Where in North Carolina is the Wanderlodge project?
I think Benson is what you said.
Yes.
I don't remember that. Benson was in Arizona, but there was another Benson that we worked on.
I don't remember. Benson is where you and I were there earlier the year.
All right. That's the name of the town.
Same bus.
There's been in multiple towns called Benson, apparently.
Hamilton Mechanical says, well, I'll try to make time to come up that way and help. I'm good at getting into small places and great with 12-volt electrical. So you may have some help. Thank you.
Yeah. You can text me, 317-965-1730. You guys can text me if you're coming to help. But yeah, don't call that number because I never answer the phone. And if you send a text, identify yourself and then what it's about, because otherwise, if you just leave it open-ended or whatever, and if you're asking me about booking for a client or something or wanting a job for me to come out and do that, that's not the way to do that. Go ahead.
I'm not seeing. That's it. We've caught up.
Okay. All right. Well, we are done, everybody. Thank you so much for watching tonight. It still tells me that there's 5 people in here, and I have 2 thumbs up. So.
Oh, sorry. The Hamilton Mechanical said that would be at Lance's in Tennessee.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
That's still nice.
Yes. Yeah. No, come visit us down there. Yeah, we'll have some video coming up. I don't know if we'll be able to do any live stuff while we're out there, but it'd be nice to see that bus going and get on the road and get it to the Greyhound Museum where it's going to live for the winter. It's got it has a deadline where it needs to be off this property, I think. So if we don't succeed, then it's going to need to go out on a tow truck. And if I can get it out of there cheaper than a tow truck and have a running driving bus, that'll be a lot better for everybody. So it should be a real fun project. It's just going to be cold. So I'll be wearing coveralls and my long undies and...
Just what they want to know.
Yep. All right, guys. Hey, good night, and I'll make that other video live in just a couple minutes for you, so you can watch that from today and see all of the more battles that we fought today, and how the bus would do good and then not do good and then do good and not do good, and then 3 trips back before we made it to the interstate, and and Phil driving like a madman, going 70 mile an hour down the interstate in that bus with 25-year-old tires. Fun. Good night, guys.